Hello lovely people, it has been a bit since my last video where I was talking about all of the hard parts of when you have several failures and stuff, and I wanted to then, last couple weeks I've been kind of going over different ways to comfort myself, especially with magic, and I wanted to share some of those with you and talk about how to make a teeny tiny little, maybe possible comfort talisman or comfort trinket that's been blessed with magic. We talk about these stuff all the time within witchcraft. There's always charming a certain object for different reasons, and comfort for me has definitely been one of them. So for me, the idea of like a talisman or a trinket, something that is meant just for comfort, comes from something that I've been using for a very, very long time, and that is this teeny tiny little boy. It's a red glass ball in a dragon's claw. It's been broken off and redone. I got this back when I was 11, 12, like that young. It's been that many years since I've had this. I am now 28, so over a decade I've had this. The first time I had dreamt of a nightmare and actually taking control of the dream. They call it lucid dreaming, where you kind of like tap in, you're like, oh wait, I'm dreaming, we can fix this. Like, why are there clowns chasing me? Absolutely not. So I had taken control of a nightmare when I was young. Well, within the nightmare, after the scary things had happened, what started working is this big gigantic black encompassed me, and then this little red gem fell out of nowhere. From the sky in the dream. And then when I woke up, I was kind of like hyper fixated on the dream as a kid, being very in my head about a little red gem that can like capture the light. And so I think I found this at like a Ren fair, or maybe just like a booth of like some sort of shopping place that my mom took me to. And it's just a little red glass ball. It's not a gemstone of any kind, but it definitely caught my attention. And specifically also what caught my attention was the fact that it was kind of, it used to be glued in place, but now you can spin it a little bit. So I used to do that a lot, where I would just kind of fiddle with it to the point where it would spin, and then as I got older I would just spin, 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 spin. I don't know why, but because this is related to like the end of something bad happening, I realized then that this then became a talisman for me for kind of the rest of my life, where whenever I felt life was getting a little too crazy, a little too out of control, I would reach for this and put it on a necklace and wear it, or put it on my keychain. Like, I just wanted to have it on me when I wasn't feeling my best. And it was because for me it was the direct relation between having a dream, seeing this red gem drop down within the dream, and then making that association that this was what the dream meant when I was 12. And so over time, as you can tell, it has definitely been, it used to have like a whole like claw part. I think you can find these in a lot of different shops. People make these ones all the time. But like, it broke at some point. It used to have like a longer piece that connected to a chain, and then my dad drilled a hole through it, I think when I was like 15, and did just put a little key ring on it so I could still wear it as a necklace. So it's been through the paces, and I think another thing that makes this one important to me is the fact that this particular little trinket, I have not necessarily worked to keep track of it. Like, it's not something that's been treated with the most reverence. I would move, lose it. I thought I lost it multiple times. I used to cry about it when I was younger, and my parents would buy me replacements. I have a lot of like dragons holding red gemstones now, and etc. But this one was the one that mattered. It didn't matter if there were other ones or whatever else. No, this one was important. I always found it again, whether it had fallen out of my pocket on the street and I would walk by that same place the next day and I found it. That happened a couple times. I thought I lost it for good, and then I moved, and then I would unpack a bunch of things and I would find it like in the kitchenware, like, why were you there? So this thing always seems to reappear, especially when I need it. I want to talk about ways that I also re-bless this. So one of the things that I do first before I re-bless this lovely is I like to create an environment of coziness and comfort. As you can kind of tell, I'm sure, by my outfit, we have scarves and fuzzies, and it's very nice, very nice. Cozy. I've done up my altar. We've got some candles, we've got some incense. This is for Ostara, but I like to create this environment of coziness and then do a bunch of things that make me feel very comforted and cozy. I'm not looking for necessarily an aesthetic. I'm looking for more of like just the initial emotion that it triggers in me, I guess. And for me, this is important that these associations come more from previous ways I've found comfort in trying situations versus the comfort that society says, I guess. Like, for example, I am very into like knitted things. This makes me happy, versus where other people might like fleece and other fuzzies. Like if you think of like traditional cozy, comfy winter and you go towards that, like maybe that's not comfortable for you, you know what I mean? Same thing with smells. The incense I currently have burning right now is a cedar incense, I believe. It's some sort of like wood incense, cedar or sandalwood, one of the two. And one of the reasons I like that is because for me, a smell association from my childhood, which is very comforting to me now, is I grew up in a house where my parents were always renovating, constantly. Like the smell of fresh cut wood that was brought from Home Depot was just, it was always there. And that's something that definitely brings me a shit ton of comfort. I love it. Coffee also is actually a comfort touchstone for me. From high school, me and my friends used to always go and grab coffee together and then gossip or talk about our boys and the guys we were seeing or our crushes or, you know, the hard things that were going on in our lives and just wanting to, you know, comfort each other during that time. You know, high school is not really the best of times at all, but I remember a constant touchstone to give me comfort when things were hard during high school was a cup of coffee. Even if that coffee was full of sugar and cream and was mostly that instead of the coffee. But I think my favorite coffee shop back then was a place called Caribou Coffee. I think they've all been bought out by Pete's now. But oh, that was my spot with my close group of girlfriends at the time. This is all kind of nostalgic in a way, right? It's thinking of hard times in our lives previously that we got through and what were the coping mechanisms that we used that were healthy. Not touching the unhealthy ones. And curating a bunch of them within a certain moment. Along with that also comes music. And what is comforting to you? Again, do not go off of associations that other people have, because some people like really heavy metal to be cathartic. Other people need just instrumental music. They don't want to deal with people and their lyrics. Other people like to listen to like really sad songs that helps them to cry and get it all out when they're feeling very uncomfortable and downtrodden, you know. Whatever your thing is, find that music, make a playlist, play it all out. Get as cozy as possible in your favorite comfy things, maybe your favorite pair of sweatpants or a favorite outfit. I think it's good to like create this environment of pure utter comfort and then just sit in it for a second. Really feel how it feels that like for a minute you're safe, comfy. There's nothing really that you have to think about all that hard. You know, try to quiet down your brain, do a meditation after you've set up this environment and really take in that feeling and sit with it for as long as you can. But also don't try to like put a stranglehold on the feeling. We're not trying to force ourselves, again, to feeling comfy. It's the stuff that comes naturally to us. Not everyone else's associations, not what everyone else says what we should feel, but what does true comfort feel like for us within a small moment that we can take that and then move forward through more troubled times. And so if it flits away from you for a second, let it go. Let the bad feelings come in for a second again, and then gently try to remind yourself again, back into the comforting space, back into the, oh, that's right, but my sweater's still soft, but this coffee still tastes good. You know, use the senses to remind yourself of that comforting. I like to just take a simple little charm like this, something that you can keep on your person, whether you can wear it as a piece of jewelry, necklace, again, keychain, in a pocket. Something where you can have easy access to, where if you need to, you can hold it in the palm of your hand. And again, remind yourself with a sense of touch. And sometimes it's even better if you can't find something that's comforting, then find something that is an object that has zero association. It's so neutral to you. You're just like, yeah, so it can be turned into an item of comfort, not necessarily has any sort of other attachment to it. If anything has even a little bit of negative association to it, that's not the item to pick with this. Like if it makes your mind go to something for a second, no. And then I just like to hold it, and once I've found that meditation without the object, I take the object and then just hold it close to my heart. I like to put it as like right in between my sternum as much as possible, like not necessarily like on, because the heart's to the left, right? Like right on my sternum, something about that, and like just holding both hands to my chest as I like then feel my breath expand throughout my lungs and then go back down. And then just imagine the energies cascading from your heart center into the little object. And do it as long as you feel necessary until, you feel ready to get up and move on with your day. It doesn't have to be a really in-depth crazy ass ritual for this, right? We're just trying to re-bless and re-consecrate something, or bless for the first time, a little object that gives you a sense of comfort. It's supposed to be easy, lackadaisical almost, nothing too intense. And then from there on, you always have a little object that hopefully will create those positive associations in your mind. I hope this video was helpful for you. It was a bit rambly, but it is something that I like to do to give myself a sense of a touchstone of comfort when things get a little bit too hectic and I'm disappointed, and I'm trying to motivate myself up to move on and keep handling the weird, awful things that life throws at us. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Comment down below any of your comfort associations, or maybe a little comfort talisman that you use in your day-to-day, and how does it help you? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.